Hey guys, it's Miss Derringer again. I want to read you another book. The title of this one is The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. This one is a 3.0. Remember, after I finish reading it, if you need to replay it, hear it again, you can. And remember to go onto Class Link and into AR to take a test on this book if you've never tested on it before. Okay. The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story. Nobody knows the real story because nobody's ever heard my side of the story. Let's see. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. So this is his point of view, how he believes the story went. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. I wonder what he's going to do. Looks like he's going somewhere. Maybe he's going there. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig. And he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in their right mind would build a house out of straw? Uh-oh. Things are getting interesting. So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? There was no answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. There's Pig. And he's thinking about eating him up. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, woof. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. There he is shaving. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not gonna believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Woof's on her. There he is sneezing. You can see the pig here. And there he is. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full. But my cold was feeling a little better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Woof. Don't bother me again. There he is. See, it's getting full. Okay. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. He wouldn't give me one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Ugh. The woof's point of view is that the pig looks mean. See, he made him look mean. So his point of view is probably that the pig is mean. He's trying to make it seem like the pigs did all the troublemaking, and he didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't his fault. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. There he is, huffing and puffing. Oh, there's a reporter with a microphone and pen. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down stuff. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. So he's saying they wanted an interesting story, so they made the story better by making him the bad guy. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. He's in jail. The end. Remember, the true story of the 3 little pigs. If you need to read it again or listen to it again, do that. Then, through ClassLink, you can log into Renaissance or AR and take an AR test if you have not already done it. It's a 3.0. Any book that I read that you've already tested on, kindergarten through 3rd grade, you can't test again on. Okay? Thanks for listening, guys. Miss you. See you soon.